There's something strange about being around other people. You can spend hours talking to someone and still have no idea what they actually noticed about you, because people don't only listen to your words, they're watching everything around them. The way you walk into a room, how quickly you look at your phone, what you do when someone else is speaking, how you react when something doesn't go your way. Most of these things happen so naturally, you don't even realize you're doing them. But someone else might. And here's the uncomfortable part. People often notice these tiny behaviors before they even realize they've noticed them. Imagine meeting someone for the first time. They smile. They say hello. Everything seems normal, but then you notice something. Every few seconds, they look around the room. They keep checking their phone. Their body is facing you, but their attention is somewhere else. They haven't said anything rude. They haven't done anything obviously wrong. Yet somehow, you already feel like they don't really want to be there. That's because your brain pays attention to something deeper than words. Attention. When someone gives you their full attention, you feel important. When their attention keeps drifting, you feel it, even if neither of you says a word about it. And that's the first small thing people notice, whether you're actually present. Think about the last time someone was telling you a story. Did you look at them? Did you listen? Or were you already thinking about what you wanted to say next? Most people think listening means staying quiet. It doesn't. Real listening changes your entire body. You face the person. You react naturally. You remember what they said. You ask a follow-up question. And suddenly, the other person feels like they matter. That's why some people are incredibly easy to talk to. They don't necessarily say anything brilliant. They simply make you feel like, for those few minutes, nothing else is more important. But attention isn't the only thing people notice. They also notice how you behave when you have nothing to gain. Watch someone talking to a waiter, or a cashier, or a stranger who can't do anything for them. That's when something interesting happens. The performance disappears, because there's no reason to impress them. And this can reveal far more about someone than the way they treat important people. A person can be incredibly polite to their boss, and completely different with someone they don't need. People notice that difference. Maybe they don't mention it. Maybe they never confront you. But their brain stores it, because behavior without an audience often tells the truth. And that's why the smallest moments can create the biggest impressions. Here's another thing people notice: how you react when something doesn't go your way. Imagine you're at a restaurant. Your food arrives late. The order is wrong. Nobody is paying attention to you. What do? Do you immediately become angry? Do you blame someone? Do you make everyone around you uncomfortable? Or do you calmly deal with it? The situation itself isn't what people remember. They remember how you handled it. Because anyone can look calm when everything is going perfectly. The real signal appears when something goes wrong. That's when people quietly ask themselves, what kind of person are they under pressure? And they don't need a conversation to answer. Your reaction tells them. The same thing happens when someone disagrees with you. Imagine you're telling a story. Someone interrupts and says, "I don't think that's true." You could immediately become defensive. You raise your voice. You start explaining. You need to prove you're right. Or you could simply listen. Maybe say, "I see it differently," and move on. That tiny reaction communicates something powerful. You don't feel threatened by disagreement. And people notice that. Because confidence isn't just how you behave when people admire you. It's how you behave when someone challenges you. But there's an even smaller signal: your relationship with your phone. Imagine you're talking to someone, and their phone lights up. They look at it, just for a second, then again, and again. They keep saying, "Yeah, I'm listening." But their eyes keep leaving the conversation. You probably wouldn't say, You're making me feel unimportant. You might not say anything at all, but you feel it. And that's exactly why these small behaviors matter. People are constantly asking themselves, how important am I to this person right now? Your behavior answers that question before your words do. And here's something even more surprising. People notice how you react to silence. Some people become uncomfortable immediately. They start talking faster. They make jokes. They reach for their phone. Anything to fill the empty space. Other people simply sit there. No panic, no performance, just silence. And that difference can completely change how someone perceives you. Because being comfortable with silence often signals something deeper. You don't constantly need approval. You don't need to entertain everyone. You don't need to prove that you're interesting every second. And that brings us to one of the most revealing things people notice. Whether your personality changes depending on who enters the room. Maybe you're confident with your friends, but suddenly quiet around someone you want to impress. Maybe you're kind when you're alone with someone, but become completely different when other people arrive. People notice these changes, and sometimes they notice them faster than you do, because they're not listening to what you're saying. They're comparing how you behave. Now here's the fascinating part. People may forget the exact words you said. They may forget what you were wearing. They may even forget what you were talking about. But they can remember a feeling. Something about that person felt genuine. Or something felt off. And often, they can't even explain why. That's because your brain collects hundreds of tiny signals. Your tone, your pauses, your reactions, your attention, your body language, how you treat people, how you behave when nobody is watching, individually. None of these things seems important. Together, they create an impression. And here's the biggest mistake people make. They focus on controlling the big things. They think, how should I dress? What should I say? How do I make a good impression? But the strongest impression is often created by the things you aren't consciously controlling. How you react when you're annoyed. How you listen when you're bored. How you treat someone who can't help you. How you behave when someone disagrees. How quickly you reach for your phone. How comfortable you are when nobody is talking. Those moments reveal something your words can't hide. And you don't need to become hyper-aware of every movement. That's not the goal. Because if you start analyzing every gesture, you'll stop being natural. The better approach is much simpler. Pay attention to the kind of person you're being when you're not trying to impress anyone, because that's usually the person other people are actually meeting. And here's the strange thing. You may think people remember your best moments, your funniest story, your smartest comment, your most impressive achievement. Sometimes they do, but very often, they remember something much smaller. The way you listened, the way you reacted, the way you treated someone who couldn't give you anything back, the moment you stayed calm, the moment you made them feel comfortable. Those tiny moments become the evidence people use to answer a much bigger question. Who is this person really? And that's why the smallest things people notice can say the most about you. Not because you're being watched all the time, but because human beings are constantly reading each other, even when nobody says a word.